everyone, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time, my name is Karsten, and if you are coming back, happy to have you. So if you're watching this, you might be seeing that there's something different about the video. But other than the fact that I'm standing, I'm going to be talking about perfume today. But not just any perfume. I'm going to be talking about the Cé Noir perfume from Beyonce. I haven't opened it and I got it in the mail a few days ago, so I've been waiting until I was actually ready to record a video before I finally opened it. I've been waiting for a long time and I'm really excited for it. If you've seen anything on my socials or blogs, anything that I've talked about, you would know that I went to the Renaissance tour. I went in LA and I actually got to smell samples of the perfume in LA. But the entire experience wasn't enough. I had to go see her again. So I went to Dallas to see her, and I was also there for a work trip. So it was pretty convenient timing, but I am obsessed, I think, with Renaissance at this point, with the Renaissance experience. And if you know anything about Beyonce, being a fan of Beyonce, chances are you are going to invest X amount of money, whether it's in concert tickets, merch, whatever the case may be. You are going to be spending money at some point with Miss Beyonce. So without further ado, I am going to actually open this box now. So this is the box that it came in the mail. I have not opened it at all, haven't touched it, looked at it whatsoever. So I am going to go ahead and just do that right now. So I clearly thought that opening this box was going to be a lot easier than it actually was. I was trying to get this thing open for a good amount of time, so I just decided to fast forward it for y'all. I had to get the scissors and everything, and yeah, this was a lot harder than it needed to be, honestly. Yeah, this is a lot harder to open than I thought, so give me like 5 minutes. It's fine. Okay, finally got this box open. So let's see what we got inside. So there's a little sample that comes inside the box, it looks like, which is pretty cool. I don't know if it's, to have a friend try it or something, but you could use it as, I guess, like a little mini body spray if you need to take it with you, nice and travel size. This is obviously not something I'm used to, but yeah, it's like a little mini sample right there. That's pretty cool. This is the box that the perfume comes in. Obviously you can see Cé Noir over here, silver, it's Renaissance coated, so it definitely makes sense. The actual notes on the scent, top notes are honey and clementine, the middle notes are jasmine, sunback, and rose, and the base notes are myrrh and amber. And personally for me, when I like to pick scents, I usually go kind of towards like muskier scents, but I also like some sweetness, but not too much. So a nice vanilla and amber is usually what I go for. I don't typically wear more fruity scents, if that makes sense, but this is pretty much a perfect match for anyone that might be in that same profile as me. Okay, cool. So slide it out. I'm like scared because it's not gonna break, but I just very much do not want to break this thing at all. So let's take this off. And you know how they were saying that the perfume, it kind of looks like one of the tour outfits that she had on with that circle out in the middle? I can see what they were going. It's still very on brand, still fulfilling the belief. So it's opening this box, take it off, and you have the perfume right here. It's like, it feels really cool to actually see it and hold it. So it had a little note inside of it, which I don't know what it is. It could be nothing, but I just want to check. So the note says, Cé Noir, celebrate your renaissance with the scent of Cé Noir. Layers of golden honey are lit with the energy of jasmine, sambac. White patchouli pulses through the resinous base layers of amber and myrrh. It is the spirit of the night, beating with sensual excitement. Encased in art, Cé Noir reflects the person you want to see, the person you want to be. You're one of one. Cé Noir, let your body talk and be free with the scent of self-expression. Okay, so it's a cute little keepsake. I'll probably end up keeping this with the perfume because I'm corny. But here's the actual perfume. So you can kind of see, and I'm probably gonna get a better video of it too, but you can kind of see where it comes out. So this is more of just a case. It's not the actual like body of the perfume, if that makes sense. This is the actual perfume size. It's 1.7 fluid ounces. Based on the price of this, so the perfume itself I think is around 180. I would say between 160 to 180 that you spend. So if you're looking for, I don't know, like a bigger bottle, maybe that would be a draw for you of maybe not purchasing it. But for me, I don't mind splurging on perfumes. This again is not the most expensive perfume that I have ever purchased. So the most expensive perfume that I've ever purchased was this Bond number 9 Greenwich Village. It is more of like a luxury high-end perfume. So this perfume, when I bought it, I think I would give a range $250 to $280 depending on where you're buying it from. So there's websites online where you can kind of get a discount or a sale, but again, this was just expensive, period. So the actual size of this is 3.3 fluid ounces. So this is the most expensive perfume that I've ever purchased. So the Cé Noir perfume is definitely not the most expensive perfume out there, if that's what you are concerned about. So let's open her. I'm actually excited. It smells good. I'm curious to see what it's gonna do like when it stays on the skin. Okay. So I actually really like the perfume. When you put it on the skin, at first it's a little like overpowering, you could say. Like there's definitely more of the sweeter notes that are coming through. But I'm curious to see, you know, throughout the day if it will get weaker, how it'll change. But so far I like it. It's not bad, but I can see how somebody might smell it and, you know, maybe think of like an older woman, if that makes sense. And I'm trying to be the most delicate with this as possible. I would say it's, at least initially on the skin, it's a little on the sweeter side for me personally, but if it kind of wears down throughout the day, it will be better. I'm actually planning on going out later today to meet up with some friends, so you know, I will report back and see what changes. But so far not bad. I'll probably give my final thoughts afterwards. So my initial thoughts. So the perfume does pair down pretty well. So as you wear it, kind of that initial, you know, whoa goes away. So something my mom was saying when I had showed her and let her smell it initially was that it was kind of pungent. And that was what I felt initially. Remembering what it smelled like on the little scent cards they gave us at the tour, it wasn't really the same, but that's because when you smell it as a sample, it's already kind of been worn down a bit, so it's not fresh out of the bottle. So fresh out of the bottle, you really get a really strong amber, you know, citrusy scent. And at first I was kind of concerned because that's not the type of scent that I particularly like to wear. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, did I make the right choice? Do I actually like this? As I wore it and as I've had it on my skin, it actually does go down nicely. I was saying that once it's kind of, you know, weakened, you could say, that it reminds me of the La Vieille's Belle from Lancome. That's Perfume. And I believe that perfume is around, let me see, like 120. I'll put the actual prices of all the perfumes I've discussed. So I'm getting this mostly after the fact of this video while I'm editing, but the reason why I wanted to put this in is because a lot of people have questions on the price. So pricing for perfumes can kind of have a wide range. With this perfume, comparing it to the Lancome perfume and even the Black Opium perfume, I feel like the price could be a tad bit lower. And maybe that's because it's Beyonce, of course, you're gonna have to pay your coins. But I do personally think that the price could be a tad bit lower, even though it's not outlandish or crazy for any type of perfume. The reason I have the Bond Number 9 perfume mentioned is because it kind of does smell like it in a way. So I'm not going to say that it's a dupe, but it does have very similar scents. Same with the La Vie is Belle. If you look at the notes on the fragrance, they're very similar and they have a lot of things in common. So keeping that in mind, and with the Black Opium, I would say it smells more like that as you spray it on initially, but when it wears down, it does smell more like the Lancome perfume. So, just a little more insight. The La Vie is Belle perfume, it does have notes of patchouli, warm vanilla, and other earth tones like iris. So it has a similar note when it does pair down well. And comparing the two, so the Cé Noir, that was about 160 before tax, and the Lancome perfume was 120 when I had it. Comparably, the bottle is bigger. So I would say for the price of the Cé Noir perfume that I was kind of expecting more. When you initially open the package, it's kind of deceiving unless you already know what you're getting into, where the bottle looks bigger than it actually is, but the bottle is actually taken out of the holder that it comes in. So it's not as big as you may think when you purchase it. But for that type of perfume, it's not uncommon that the bottle might not match the price. So on that note, I feel like the price could probably be a bit lower, but I do have some additional context. So that perfume, the Cé Noir perfume, is not the most expensive perfume I've ever purchased. And if you've been watching this video, then you already know that the Greenwich Village from Bond Number 9 is the most expensive perfume that I've purchased. That perfume is, a larger bottle, but it's also a higher price. So to say that this perfume is overpriced, I don't necessarily think is the most accurate, just because if you're getting more into higher end scents and perfumes, you do end up paying, usually 100 plus. 100 is on the low end, but you can get closer to 150 and up depending on what perfume, what brand. And I think that's the difference between your luxury fragrances versus a body mist or perfume or something that you might get in a department store. It's different, kind of a different quality. So with that in mind, I would say for the average person that the price could be lower, but comparing it to other perfumes that I've worn and the perfumes that I've tried, I would say it's, within that ballpark. So I do really like the scent much more when it's worn down versus when it's initially on the skin. Like I was saying before, when you put it on initially, it kind of does slap you in the face like, oh, that's kind of strong. But the way that it wears down is actually kind of surprising. I've heard that it changes based on your body chemistry, which is true of most perfumes. What one perfume smells like on one person isn't necessarily going to be the same as another person, but it does change throughout the day. And I was kind of doing, sniff checks, testing my wrists and having my friends smell it. But coming home and seeing it now, I don't really smell it anymore. And if that's something that you want when you're wearing perfume, so making sure it's long lasting, making sure it's going to actually hold the scent, I don't know that this perfume does as well if you're going for a longer night, a later night, if you're just out and about and you don't have time to reapply or you just don't have your perfume with you. Comparing it to the Bond Number 9 perfume that I have, that one lasts a lot longer. Like I will have the perfume on and I will wake up the next day and I can kind of still smell like traces of it on my wrist. With this perfume, you don't really get that at all. So it's deceiving when you put it on initially, but I would say overall it's a really light scent once you've had it on for a while, but it does fade. So if you're expecting something that's longer lasting, that, this perfume might not be for you. With all that being said, the perfume itself, it doesn't really smell like anything particularly unique or new, at least not to me. So like I said before, it does smell very much like the La Vie is Belle perfume once it's worn down. So on that note, I don't think it's the most unique scent, but it is a good scent. It's not bad. Everyone that I asked said that they liked it, that it smelled good. So if you're worrying about putting it on and not smelling good, you don't really have to worry about that. But it is comparable to a lot of other perfumes. I wouldn't discourage anyone from buying it. And I will say this, I think the marketing and the campaign and the way that it was launched was perfect, especially considering the Renaissance tour. And I think that obviously adds to the excitement or maybe the hype of getting the perfume. But once you wear it and put it on, it's different because you're kind of going off of, you know, how long can I wear this? Does it really match me? Do I like this? So if you're someone who does, you know, like a patchouli kind of myrrh grounded scent, I would say it is for you. It does have amber, but the amber scent kind of fades as time goes on. And like I was saying, I've had this on for 4 or 5 hours now and I can't really smell it on my wrist anymore. So it is a good perfume, it's just not longer lasting. But I would say if someone's trying to jump in to start, maybe with a more expensive perfume, that this could be something to try, or even the La Vie est Belle could be something to try. That's pretty much all I have as far as my opinions on the perfume. Like I said, if you want to get it, you can completely disregard what I'm saying. Go purchase it, live your life, do what you got to do. I think that being more of someone who's not afraid to splurge on perfumes, seeing the price wasn't something that was shocking to me. You know, it is more expensive, but that's kind of the name of the game, especially when you get into more of those higher end fragrances. So if that's something that you're considering, hey, do I want it? Should I get it? Yes, there's the price, but I think we should also kind of remove ourselves from the stigma of purchasing more luxury items. I've heard it said with skincare specifically that just because it's a name brand or because it's a luxury brand, it doesn't mean that it's going to work differently. I think with perfumes, that's not really the case. You do see a difference in the price point of a perfume, in the quality, how well does it smell, how long does it last. Those things actually are, you know, prevalent. So I don't think that the price should be a reason that you shouldn't buy it unless, you know, you're budgeting and you're not comfortable spending that much money, or you just don't want to. And it's perfectly okay if you don't want to either. Comparing it to the perfumes I discussed before, they all kind of have a very similar scent. So I will probably put notes or something so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. And no, this video is not sponsored. I'm not sponsored by Beyonce. I am not sponsored by anybody. But those are my opinions on the perfume itself, just based on, you know, me wearing it, me testing it out, and me comparing it to what I've had in the past. Okay, well, if you enjoyed that video, thank you so much for sticking around and finishing it up with me. I was really excited to open the perfume, I think mostly because of the hype of the tour, but also because it's a new fragrance and I want to give it a try and I wanted to treat myself, so why not? But let me know what you think. Have you tried the perfume? Have you bought the perfume? Are you going to buy it? And what do you think? Has your opinion changed based on anything I said in this video, or is it still the same? If you want to catch more of me, you can follow me on Instagram at Carson Ashley Bush. You can also check out my blog and my podcast as well for more insights. And hopefully I see you around the next one. Okay, thanks. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.